My name is Bernardo Aguzzoli Heberle. I'm a fourth-year PhD candidate at the Heberle Lab in the University of Kentucky, and I got the Predoctoral Award in Drug Discovery from the PhRMA Foundation. So all cells in our body have the same DNA, basically the same blueprint, but then each cell is gonna execute that blueprint slightly differently. And that's what's gonna be the difference between, for example, your brain cell and your skin cell. They'll have the same blueprint, but they'll be doing different things with it. So the first step from getting from the blueprint to the actual function of the cell is transforming DNA into RNA. And that's what we study. We study the RNA, that first step into executing the blueprint. Studies have been done for a long time now, looking at different expression of gene level expression of RNA between Alzheimer's disease and controls. And controls would be people that die without dementia. And people have looked into this in the brain, the blood, several different things to try to find targets that could be useful for disease treatment or diagnostics. Now, our research is taking it a step further. So we're not only looking at gene expression, but also at RNA isoform expression. So those are subtypes of the same gene that can perform slightly different functions or sometimes even very different functions. With the technology from the past, called short-read sequencing, you can really get a good feel for the gene level expression, but those RNA isoforms, those different subtypes, those aren't so well measured with the short-read sequencing. With the new technology that we're using now, with long-read sequencing, you can really tell apart those RNA isoforms and see if there's specific RNA isoforms that are causing Alzheimer's or they're important for being able to diagnose Alzheimer's better and things like that. And so it's just adding a next level of nuance and a little more detail to the analysis to see if we can find something useful. If you want to continue in science and you want to continue doing research, you have to demonstrate that you can acquire funding to do that research. And so definitely being able to get this funding early on is something that will help me in my career tremendously when I'm trying to apply for jobs in the future or continue my research. I mean, obviously COVID was terrible, right? And at the time it was horrible, but I got accepted into the PhD program that I'm doing right now in 2020, but I was in Brazil at the time. And as you can imagine, with all the visas and all the issues that there were, I couldn't actually come into the country. So I had to delay it for a year. And then after about 6 months, I got in contact with some of the people at the University of Kentucky. And I said I wanted to do research that involved computational biology because I had a programming background and Alzheimer's disease. And Mark, my mentor, had just came into the university right then and there. And so they gave me his contact information and I emailed him and said like, hey, can I volunteer or do something for you? And that was sort of like the perfect fit because not only did he answer saying that I could do it, but also he answered in Portuguese because he had done a mission trip for 2 years in Brazil when he was like 18. And so I was like really excited to join his lab. And that's probably something that I wouldn't have done, right? Because he came into the university right in the beginning of 2021, late 2020. Had I gotten in 2020 in the middle of the year, he probably wouldn't be there and I probably would have never even rotated in his lab or even met him. And I'm really glad for that because it really was a good fit in terms of something that I could use my skill set in, but also that was within my research interests. I mean, there's two things that I want to achieve, right? What the path to that, achieving that will be, I'm not sure. But one is I want to try to improve like the scientific enterprise sort of deal in Brazil. I did a couple of years of research there between my bachelor's and my PhD. And the people there, like the researchers are really good, but just the situation where funding and just things like that, it's really bad, right? You're reusing gloves and whatever the case may be. It's just all of the technology we're using is like from 15, 20 years ago many times. So as much as I can from, where I stand today, I'd like to help make the situation better. And then the second thing is I want to keep helping develop treatments or diagnostics for diseases and improving human health. I told myself that I was going to do 5 years of Alzheimer's for the PhD. And then, after that, it's just an open book. If it continues to be Alzheimer's, I'll be happy to continue doing Alzheimer's disease research. But if the roll of the dice sort of takes me somewhere else where my skills can still be effective and be helping improve human health, then I'll go that way too.